Snark Squad. Babes, the long weekend spiral has officially begun. And this is our last recording of the night.
But, babes, the Casamigos margaritas are still holding strong, like very strong.
Oh my God, yes. I am surviving on pure agave and reality TV chaos right now. It is the only thing keeping me upright.
Honestly, we need the tequila tonight.
Yeah.
Because the core question we are tackling today is actually keeping me awake.
Wait, really? What is it?
Has modern reality television fundamentally changed so much that, villains can just toast by on expensive designer outfits?
Oh, like doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While the old school manipulators and strategists are left doing all the heavy lifting, are we watching the death of strategy and the rise of pure aesthetics? We are going to break all of that down.
Yes. I am so ready for this. But first, we want to wish you the most amazing weekend. Like truly from the bottom of our slightly tipsy hearts.
Very tipsy hearts, let's be real.
Okay, fair. But we want nothing but good vibes, great decisions, or, terrible ones. Honestly, we support both.
We highly endorse the chaos. Make a massive, unhinged mess.
Literally. Text your ex. Buy the shoes. Just lean into it.
Exactly. And babes, we wish you a slim waist, a fat ass, and a sugar daddy.
Yes. Speaking into existence. I'm ready to be fully funded. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean, if a wealthy, anonymous benefactor wants to completely fund our reality TV addiction so we never have to look at a spreadsheet again, I am absolutely not turning them away.
I would sign the paperwork tonight, blindly. But before we get completely derailed into our financial fantasies, let's do rose and thorns for tomorrow, Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, babes, our dental offices are closed, so we are thriving.
Thriving is honestly a massive understatement. The sheer euphoric high of knowing my alarm is turned off is better than any chemical substance on Earth.
It is the best feeling in the world.
We are untethered from the corporate drill. Get it? Drill. Dental office humor.
Oh my God, stop. That was terrible.
I know. The margaritas are making me punchy. Anyway, do you want to go first with your rose and thorn, or should I?
I'll go first. Okay. So my rose for tomorrow is so simple, but it is deeply spiritually profound.
Oh, I can't wait.
I am so unbelievably excited to sleep in past 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I am turning off every single alarm. I do not want to see the sun until it is at a highly respectful afternoon angle in the sky.
I deeply respect that boundary with the morning. The morning is an oppressive construct anyway.
Right. It truly is.
Yeah.
If I wake up and I look at my phone and it says a.m. instead of p.m., I am forcefully closing my eyes and going back into the REM cycle. That is the rose.
Incredible. And the thorn?
My thorn is that the real world still exists inside my apartment, which means having to confront my laundry.
Oh no, not the laundry mountain.
Bibbs, the hamper isn't just overflowing. It has formed a secondary mountain on the floor. It's a structural hazard at this point.
Ah, the dreaded secondary mountain. You've hit the sedimentary rock layer of the wardrobe.
I really have. I have no clean leggings left. None.
Yeah.
I'm at the bottom layer of the laundry pile, which means I am forced to wear the weird, brightly colored promotional T-shirts from events I attended 5 years ago.
The desperation layer. That is a classic sign of someone in severe distress. Okay, my turn. My rose for tomorrow. I am excited to literally not look at a single email.
Yes, protect your peace.
If an email comes in, it doesn't exist. I am deleting the mail app off my phone for 72 hours. I am off the grid. Unreachable.
Set the out-of-office reply to something incredibly passive-aggressive and just log off.
If someone pings me, they are pinging into an infinite black void.
I love that for you. But what's the thorn? Don't tell me it's the family thing.
It is absolutely the family thing. The thorn is the impending doom of Saturday. Because we are both going to a family Easter dinner.
Oh my God. My stomach just dropped.
And babes, it's going to be a nightmare. A full-scale psychological warfare event.
A complete and total nightmare. I am already mentally, physically, and spiritually preparing for the family chaos.
It's the same exact script every single year.
Literally. The incredibly awkward conversations, the aunts leaning in with their dry Pinot Grigio breath asking, so when are you buying a house in this economy?
Or how is that little internet show of yours going?
Ugh, the disrespect. Calling it a little internet show.
The absolute unmitigated disrespect. I'm bracing myself for the passive-aggressive comments about my outfit not being spring-appropriate.
Oh, they always hate the outfits.
And the weird, gelatinous, neon-colored salads that someone's great-aunt insists on bringing every year. You know, the ones with the suspended marshmallows?
Oh my God, yes.
Whoa.
The ones that jiggle when you look at them. Gross.
We are going to need a full debriefing support group on Sunday. Snark Squad, we will report back on the emotional casualties of Easter dinner.
We absolutely will. I will take extensive notes on my phone under the table, but let's bring the energy back to right now. Because tonight is a chicken wing night. And babes, we are living.
We truly deeply are. If you hear crunching through the microphones, we apologize, but we don't really apologize.
Not even a little bit.
We have an entire spread laid out right now. We've got the lemon pepper, which is zesty. It's aggressive. The seasoning is practically visible from space.
It's absolute perfection.
And we have the honey barbecue, which is doing exactly what it needs to do for my tired soul right now. It's sticky, it's sweet, it has that slight smoky finish.
Oh my God, the honey barbecue is literally changing my brain chemistry as we speak. I have sauce all over my fingers. I am aggressively happy.
It is the ultimate comfort food.
Wingstop, if you're listening, we are ready for that sponsorship. Cut the check. We are your exact target demographic.
Exhausted, hungry people talking loudly about reality TV at midnight. We will sell so many wings for you.
Send us the wings, Wingstop. It's a mutually beneficial corporate arrangement.
But, okay, before we get into the absolute unhinged psychological mess that was this week's television, we need to talk about something serious.
Oh God, what, are you bringing down the room?
Kindles.
Oh no, we are doing this.
Snark Squad, you know we are book girlies. We are deeply entrenched in our book talk era.
Completely entrenched.
Our algorithms are completely ruined by spicy romantasy recommendations and dragons. But the question is, are you team paper or team Kindle?
Oh, this is not even a debate for me. I will go to war over this. I am team paper until the day I die.
Really? Still?
Yes. There is absolutely nothing that compares to the sensory, emotional experience of a physical book. It's the aesthetic.
The aesthetic, right.
It's building the shelves, organizing them by color or genre. It is the tactile, physical experience of turning a real paper page, feeling the weight of the book in your hands, the smell of the paper.
Okay, stop right there. You are romanticizing inconvenience. Babes, you are living in the 19th century.
I am living in a beautiful aesthetic reality.
I am team Kindle. Aggressively and unapologetically. Let's talk about actual functional strategy. Let's talk about portability.
Portability.
I can carry an entire library of 500 books in my purse. Can you do that? No. You literally have lower back pain from lugging around one massive 800-page hardback fantasy novel on the subway.
Okay, my back pain is separate from my reading habits.
Yeah.
But the cover art, you completely miss out on the gorgeous cover art. A Kindle is just a lifeless gray screen.
Exactly. I want to miss out on the cover art when I'm in public. That is the entire strategic beauty of the Kindle.
How is that a strategy?
It is the ultimate camouflage. I can read the absolute most unhinged, explicit, morally questionable smut on a crowded airplane sitting right next to an ordained minister, and he just looks over and thinks I'm deeply engrossed in a dense biography of Winston Churchill.
Okay, that is actually very funny.
The Kindle protects my dignity. Plus, the lighting. When you're trying to sleep, I'm just tapping the side of my screen in the pitch black, thriving, not disturbing anyone.
Okay, fine. The reading in the dark thing is valid. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The little book-like clip to the paper book is a struggle.
It's terrible.
But it just lacks the romanticism. There's no soul to a piece of plastic. You're choosing cold efficiency over beauty.
The soul is in the words, bestie. The soul is the story. And the instant gratification.
The instant gratification is a problem, honestly.
It's 2 a.m., I finish a book, I'm having a book hangover, and I need the sequel immediately. Boom, one click. Download it.
Okay, you're right about that part.
You have to wait 2 to 3 business days for delivery or put hard pants on to go to a physical bookstore. I win. I am playing the game optimally.
You know, it's funny we're debating aesthetics versus function with these books.
Yeah.
Because if we actually start making book talk content...
Like we kept saying we would after 3 margaritas last month.
Yes, exactly like we said we would. We could probably write off all these physical books on our taxes. Think about it. It's a business expense. I'm investing in the aesthetic of the show.
A business expense, right. We write off hundreds of dollars of spicy fairy books and get back like, what, $20 a year? From the IRS?
Hey, $20. That's another entire order of lemon pepper wings.
Our failed influencer dreams are really jumping out tonight. The IRS auditor would open our file, look at the titles we're trying to expense, read the synopsis of what happens in Chapter 42, and immediately audit us for moral bankruptcy.
They would be absolutely scandalized. I mean, straight to jail. But speaking of aesthetics versus function, and people relying entirely on how things look, rather than how they play the game.
Oh, I see the transition.
Babes, we have to get into the show. We have to talk about Season 3, Episode 8 of House of Villains.
Yes. Let's pivot from our hypothetical tax fraud to actual televised villainy.
The episode is literally titled, "I'm Sorry You Had to See This." And honestly, I feel like I need to legally say that to anyone who watched me watch this in my living room.
Why? Were you screaming?
I was a screaming, unhinged lunatic, literally bouncing off the walls.
It was a deeply chaotic, psychologically dense hour of television, and we have to start right where they left us hanging last week.
Ugh, don't even remind me about the cliffhanger.
We suffered through a whole week, a grueling 7 days of anticipation to find out who Kate, our reigning supervillain, put on the hit list alongside Tom Sandoval and Tyson Apostol.
I was pacing. I was losing my mind all week. I was running permutations in my head. And then the reveal. The doors open. The third nominee. It's Christine from Selling Sunset.
The absolute anti-climax of the century. A wet firecracker of a reveal.
It is so annoying. Like, I am emotionally and spiritually exhausted by Christine at this point in the season.
She's just kind of there.
She is just a floater. She just walks around the house in these insane, structural, high-fashion, avant-garde outfits, acting like she literally has no earthly idea what game she is playing.
The outfits are doing all the work.
Exactly. Somebody on Reddit literally said, Christine is not fun to watch, especially as a woman. I don't understand her approach. And I don't know if she even has an approach. Either way, she's boring and insulting.
They're not wrong.
And honestly, preach. She doesn't even have a strategy. She's just taking up space.
Okay, let's inject a little bit of analytical reality TV theory into this margarita spiral, because you're reacting to Christine's complete lack of gameplay, which is valid.
Very valid.
But let's look at Kate's strategy here, because Kate Chastain is not stupid.
No, she's brilliant.
Kate's entire goal right now as the supervillain is to split up the T's, Tom and Tyson. They have this weird, intense gym bro bromance alliance.
It is so annoying to watch.
Kate puts them both up on the block, and she needed a third body. She doesn't care if Christine goes home. To Kate, Christine is just collateral damage. She's a placeholder.
A perfectly manicured, highly contoured placeholder.
Ooh, exactly. But here is where Kate made the mathematical error, and she even realized it in her confessional later.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
New York. Tiffany Pollard, the HBIC herself. New York is actively, desperately trying to be the third member of the Tom and Tyson alliance. She wants to be their little throuple.
It's embarrassing for her.
Kate should have nominated New York by putting Christine up and leaving New York off the block. Kate left a massive voting block intact.
Yes, she completely missed the shot.
Yeah.
And Kate even said she was checking in on New York, and New York is sitting there all smug like, oh, I'm happy I'm not up. But you put my boys up.
She was way too comfortable.
It was infuriating. New York was pissing me off so bad this episode. She is going so hard to protect these two men. But wait, break down why keeping New York off the block was such a bad move for Kate's game.
Think about the mechanics of a reality TV voting block. In a house this small, if you have 3 people voting together, Tom, Tyson, and New York, they basically control the outcome.
Right. They have the...
Kate wants one of the T's gone. If she had put Tom, Tyson, and New York all on the hit list together, she guarantees that at least 1 and probably 2 of that alliance remains on the block for the final banishment vote.
Because only one can win the challenge.
Exactly. By putting Christine up, she gave New York the power to vote to save the T's later.
That makes so much sense. But what is New York doing? Why is she playing bodyguard for Sandoval and Tyson? It makes no sense to me.
Because look at the long game. New York is actually playing a very specific strategy. If New York sits at the finale next to Tom and Tyson, who wins the jury vote?
New York does.
New York does. She is arguably the most likable, the most entertaining, and the most historically respected of the 3 to the rest of that house. She knows what she's doing. She's using them as meat shields.
That's actually pretty smart when you put it like that.
It is. But it puts Kate's plan at massive risk. If Tom or Tyson wins the redemption challenge, which, let's be real, is highly likely given the physical nature of these competitions, Kate's whole plan to break them up could completely backfire.
And spoiler alert, Christine is not winning a physical redemption challenge unless the challenge involves aggressively gaslighting a wealthy real estate client over the square footage of a Hollywood Hills mansion.
Precisely. Which brings us to the redemption challenge itself. And babes, the stronghold doors opened and in walks Kandy Muse from season 2 to host it.
The scream I let out. I was vibrating. Kandy Muse walking in with that chaotic, loud energy.
He always brings the drama.
But she didn't just come to read cue cards and host.
She brought +1s for the hit list nominees. This is where I completely lost my mind. The psychological warfare of bringing their real-world friends into this pressure cooker?
It was a parade of reality TV ghosts. Let's break down the pairings because the disparity in skill sets here was hilarious.
Oh my God, the pairings were so uneven.
First, Christine gets Davina Protrats from Selling Sunset.
Which, okay, whatever. Cute for them to reunite, I guess. Two women who sell houses and wear blazers over their shoulders. Not exactly a threat in a physical competition.
No, absolutely useless strategically. Then Tyson gets Survivor OG Gervais Peterson, which is actually a massive, massive advantage.
Huge advantage. Gervais is a legend. But then Tom's +1 walks out.
Oh, God.
Babes, when Tom Schwartz walked out of those doors, shuffling in, fresh off the set of The Valley, looking like a confused puppy, I was screaming at my TV.
It was so predictable, but still so painful to watch. It was a Vanderpump Rules reunion nobody asked for. Kate literally said in her confessional that she was hoping Ariana Madix would walk out that door as Tom's partner. And honestly,
same.
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine the absolute cinematic, Emmy-winning brilliance if Ariana walked in to help eliminate him?
The producers would deserve Emmys, Pulitzers, and Nobel Peace Prizes if they had pulled that off. To have Ariana physically compete to send Sandoval home, it would have broken the internet.
It would have been the greatest moment in television history.
But instead, we get Schwartz, the shuffling, mumbling, perpetual sidekick, the ultimate enabler.
And the challenge itself, the pipe-down challenge. It was so visually chaotic.
Let's analyze the mechanics of the game. It's essentially a giant, scaled-up carnival game. They have to move a metal hook over a very long, curvy metal pipe from one end to the other without the hook touching the pipe.
Like Operation, basically.
Right. It requires immense fine motor skills, patience, and steady hands. Classic Big Brother or Love Island games type of setup.
But with a twist, obviously. But because this is House of Villains and they want them to suffer, if the hook touches the pipe, the player gets blasted directly in the face with a high-pressure jet of water.
And they deserved every single drop of that water. It was so funny watching them flinch and fail.
I mean, let's be analytically vicious for a second. Look at the matchups. We have the divas from Bravo and Netflix, Tom Schwartz, Christine Davina, trying to do this physical, coordination-heavy task under pressure.
They completely failed.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close.
Tom and Schwartz, who probably just had 3 iced coffees and the shakes, kept hitting the rail over and over. They weren't even in contention.
Schwartz looked like he was about to cry.
Christine and Davina looked like they were afraid the water would ruin their makeup.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have Tyson and Gervais.
The ultimate contrast. It was embarrassing for the others.
2 absolute survivor veterans. These are people who have starved on literal islands in the pouring rain, who have done intricate 3D puzzles for a single grain of rice after not sleeping for 30 days.
Right, like they've seen actual hell.
A little blast of water to the face is a spa treatment to them. Obviously, they crushed it. They had the communication, the steady hands, the total lack of panic.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a contest. Tyson wins the challenge. He pulls his name off the hit list. And the collective groan from the rest of the house, you could feel the air leave the room.
It was palpable.
It was the absolute worst-case scenario for Kate and anyone who wanted to break up that TE bromance.
It is a devastating blow for the house. Tyson is a massive threat. He's physical. He's highly strategic. He understands vote math better than anyone there. And now he's completely safe from elimination.
Untouchable.
Untouchable this week. But before anyone can even process the grief of Tyson surviving, Kandy Muse drops another grenade. She didn't just bring 3 +1s.
Oh my God, the bus.
She brought a whole entire busload of people.
A whole bus. A literal tour bus pulls up. Every single person remaining in the house gets a +1 for this chaotic house party.
Yep.
Babes, when I tell you my jaw was on the floor over this guest list.
It was like a deeply messed up, highly chaotic support group for reality TV stars across 3 different networks. The ultimate crossover event.
Literally. We had Josh Martinez from Big Brother walking in for Paul. The absolute jump scare of seeing Josh's face on my screen.
He was a lot.
Somebody on Reddit called it Batman hung out with a green gobbler and I died. I actually perished.
It was a lot to process visually. Just the sheer decibel level Josh brings into a room is overwhelming.
Then we had Chance from I Love New York showing up for Tiffany. Like, the 2000s VH1 nostalgia was hitting me so hard.
A blast from the past.
Although Tiffany was so real for her confessional, saying he used to turn her on back in the day, but he absolutely doesn't anymore. The growth. She looked at him, basically said, no thanks.
Boundaries, we'd love to see it.
And then Chef Ben Robinson from below deck walking in for Kate.
That was the strategic pairing of the night, because Kate didn't need a +1 to help her play a physical game. She's the supervillain, she's safe.
Right. She just needed a drinking buddy.
What she needed was an emotional support system. She needed someone to sit at the bar, mix heavily poured cocktails, and talk absolute trash with her while observing the peasants.
Chef Ben was the perfect accessory for her brand of icy villainy.
He truly was. They were just sitting back like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, judging everyone.
But let's talk about the actual gameplay happening at this party. Because amidst all the drinking and the awkward reunions, there was some deep strategy happening. Josh talking to Paul. I was shocked at how smart Josh was being.
I know. It pains me to say it because the memory of Josh aggressively banging pots and pans on Big Brother is a trauma that lives deep in my nervous system. But his advice to Paul at that party was incredible.
It really was.
It was textbook reality TV theory. He told Paul, you have to keep a big target in the game. You want to go to the end with a Tom or a Tyson.
Explain that strategy for the Snark squad who might not watch the deep strategy shows. Why do you want a massive threat sitting next to you?
It's the meat shield strategy, or what I like to call the crumple zone strategy. Think of Paul as the driver of a car. Tom and Tyson are the massive, heavy bumpers on the front and back of the car.
Okay, I love this analogy.
When the House inevitably decides to crash into an alliance and vote someone out, they are going to hit the massive bumpers first, Tom and Tyson. Paul stays safe in the middle, absorbing none of the impact.
So smart.
Paul is playing the middle perfectly right now. If Paul manages to slide to the finale and sits next to Tom or Tyson, Paul wins the jury vote easily.
Because everyone hates Tom and Tyson.
Exactly. The women in the house will gladly vote for Paul, who has been nice to them, over those two arrogant guys.
Paul is literally playing both sides so flawlessly. He's in the bedroom telling Christine she absolutely has his vote, while simultaneously letting Tom and Tyson think he's locked in with them.
He's very slippery.
It's slimy, it's slippery, but it's working so well.
Yeah.
But amidst all this slimy, cutthroat gameplay, we had an actual, genuine, emotional moment. Drita.
Yes. Drita reuniting with her daughter, Alea, the tonal shift of the episode.
Babes, I actually got a little misty-eyed, and I am dead inside. If you watched Mob Wives back in the day, you know Drita does not play about her kids. They are her entire world.
She is fiercely protective.
Seeing Alea walk in all grown up, I felt so incredibly old. But having her daughter there completely changed Drita's brain chemistry. She softened entirely.
It was a 180-degree turn.
For 20 minutes, she wasn't threatening to punch anyone in the throat or rip their hair out. She actually sat down on the couch and had a totally normal, civil, calm conversation with Tyson.
It was a completely different Drita. It's fascinating how the presence of family strips away the reality TV armor. But we also have to talk about the casual, earth-shattering tea that was dropped during that segment. Did you catch it, or were you too busy crying?
The divorce.
Yeah.
The casual drop of the century.
Yes. Drita casually mentioning in conversation that she and Lee are getting a divorce.
After all those years of Mob Wives drama, all the prison stints, all the screening matches, all the federal indictment, all the fighting with other women over this man.
So much history.
To just casually, coolly drop that they are getting a divorce on a show while eating snacks. I was gagged. The lore is so incredibly deep, it's the end of an era.
It is profound reality TV history, but the heartwarming family moments and the quiet personal revelations didn't last long because the liquor was flowing at this party, the anxiety of the vote was rising, and the messy fallouts began. Kate versus everyone. Let's start with fight number 1. New York versus Kate.
Oh my God, New York was totally losing her mind. Okay, let me set the scene. So New York is aggressively campaigning for Tom to stay. She walks up to Kate, who is lounging with Ben, and New York starts trying to whine about keeping Tom safe, trying to guilt-trip Kate.
A terrible strategy.
And Kate, who is an absolute, unshakable, icy queen, just looks at her, doesn't raise her voice, and sarcastically asks, do you want to go in his place? You should volunteer as tribute.
Volunteer as tribute, the Hunger Games reference. It is the most perfectly dismissive, condescending thing you can possibly say to a reality TV veteran who is overinvesting in someone else's game.
It was so cold. I loved it.
Kate knew exactly what she was doing. She was poking the bear. She activated Tiffany Pollard.
She fully, completely activated her because New York immediately snaps, her eyes widen, and she says, well, Kate, don't be nasty to me. And then New York storms off across the patio to the rest of the party and just unleashes in front of everyone.
Just completely loses it.
She is screaming at the top of her lungs, F-bombs everywhere, cursing her out. And then, In the most unhinged pivot ever, New York claims Kate is only mad because New York stopped sleeping in her bed.
The absolute delusion and the immediate deflection. New York took a game move and instantly made it a deeply weird, personal, psychosexual grievance.
So weird.
And what is Kate doing while New York is screaming obscenities across the courtyard? Kate is just sitting back with Chef Ben, holding her little cocktail, utterly unbothered, and she just calmly turns to Ben and says, "I'm sorry you had to see this."
The title of the episode. She literally gave the editors the title card of the episode while casually sipping a drink. It was magnificent.
Iconic, honestly.
But New York really lost the plot here. Somebody on Reddit pointed out New York saying, "I know what you are," with the rainbow flag emoji. Like New York was taking it to a weird homophobic place and the producers were just letting the cameras roll as New York completely spiraled out of control.
But here is where Kate's analytical brain kicks in. Even while New York is screaming, Kate admits in her confessional that she made a massive strategic mistake.
Oh, she definitely did.
She realized in that moment, watching New York crash out, that she absolutely should have put New York on the hit list instead of Christine. Because New York isn't just a number. She is an emotional wild card who is now fiercely, aggressively protecting the one thing Kate wants destroyed. Tom Sandoval.
But the night wasn't over for Kate.
Yeah.
Because we had fight number 2, Tom versus Kate, and we have to blame Kandy Muse for this entirely.
Absolutely. Kandy walked in, collected her appearance fee, dropped a massive explosive device in the living room, and walked out. It was a masterclass in instigation.
She literally just gathers the entire house, the cast, and their plus ones, and asks the most messy, Real Housewives reunion-style question possible to a group of drunk people. Who do you trust the least?
So messy.
And Kate, without missing a single beat, instantly names Tom.
And Tom Sandoval, a man who has been on reality television for over a decade, who has survived Scandoval, who should know how this machine works, completely takes the bait and throws a massive, embarrassing tantrum at a house party in front of everyone's guests.
It was so cringe.
He experiences a total narcissistic collapse. He turns bright red, the vein in his forehead is popping, his voice gets all whiny and nasally.
You really don't trust me. You really don't trust me. Yes, Tom, you are on a show about villains. It's not the Great British Baking Show. No one trusts anyone.
And what does he do? He brings up the death sentence letter from last week again. He is still trying to play the victim.
Let it go, Tom.
He's claiming he didn't have a chance to tell her about the letter. And Kate, sitting there like a judge at a tribunal, just flawlessly dissects him. She doesn't yell. She points out the absolute facts. That he found the letter, he panicked, he threw it over the balcony, he hid under his literal bed covers like a child, and he prayed for the problem to go away.
She gabbered him so quickly.
She just looks at him dead in the eyes and says, "Nobody ever accused Tom Sandoval of being too smart."
I clapped. I physically stood up and clapped in my living room. Tom's just standing there looking like a complete and total fool, and Kate dismissed him like a misbehaving toddler at daycare. I'd like you to walk away now if you don't mind. The absolute sub-zero chill in her voice.
It was surgical precision. Tom's complete lack of strategic intelligence was on full display.
Which brings us to the next morning. The hangover. The campaigning. The sheer desperation before the vote. The morning after energy was so bleak. The TATs in New York actually think they have Paul's vote to save Tom. New York is so deep in this delusion that she approaches Paul, and when he doesn't immediately bow down to her plan, she calls Paul a stupid bastard taking up space.
Because Paul had the absolute nerve to promise his vote to Christine.
Right.
New York's anger at Paul is so entirely misplaced. Let's break down her logic. She is mad at Paul for playing the exact game he should be playing, keeping his options open and managing jury votes, while she is actively tanking her own game for a man who wears white nail polish and plays the trumpet badly.
Exactly. I was screaming at the screen, protecting these white men for what? But Tom...
Babes?
Tom's desperation reached a level that made my stomach physically turn. I felt secondhand embarrassment so deeply. He literally gets down on his actual hands and knees in the hallway to beg Drita to keep him.
Which is the funniest dynamic in the house because Drita secretly wants Tom gone just to weaken Tyson's numbers.
He hates him.
She is nodding to Tom's face, letting this grown man grovel on the floor at her feet, while in her confessional she is coldly, calmly calculating his total demise. She is an assassin.
And then Tom goes to whine to Kate, the woman who just verbally eviscerated him the night before. He is pleading with her, trying to flip her, and he actually has the sheer, unmitigated audacity to ask her Would you rather look at me or Christine?
Gross.
I gagged. The vanity, the total lack of dignity.
He thinks his aesthetic value, his physical appearance, is his saving grace in a strategy game. It's pathological narcissism. He thinks being pretty is a substitute for being smart. But let's get to the voting, because this is where the mat gets incredibly tight and the tension peaks. They go into the stronghold.
Okay, the votes are cast. Drita votes for Tom to leave.
Yeah.
We cheer in my living room. Tyson votes for Christine to leave. Totally expected. He needs his shield. New York votes for Christine to leave. Annoying, but expected based on her delusion.
And Paul, the crumple zone, the man playing the middle. Paul votes for Tom to leave.
Thank God. The relief I felt.
Which means the math lands perfectly. It's a 2-2 tie.
The scream I let out.
A tie. For the first time in the show's history, there is a deadlocked tie, which means the supervillain, Kate, has to step up and break the tie. She holds the ultimate unilateral power to send Tom Sandoval or Christine Quinn home, the two people who represent the exact opposite ends of the try-hard spectrum.
And then the screen goes black, the network logo flashes, the credits roll.
Disgusted.
I am literally contacting an attorney to sue for emotional distress. They gave us 2 cliffhangers in a row.
It is an egregious, completely unforgivable abuse of the audience's trust. You cannot do a cliffhanger on the nominations, make us wait an entire week, and then give us a cliffhanger on the elimination vote.
It's sick.
We are essentially in the exact same narrative spot we started the episode in. We spent 60 minutes watching them drink and argue just to end up exactly where we began.
The Reddit sub was absolutely melting down, and rightly so. Fans were saying, 2 cliffhangers in a row is BS. Cliffhangers make me feel like I wasted my time. And honestly, I agree with every single angry, typo-ridden comment. It is so lame. It feels so manipulative.
It is a cheap, transparent production trick. Let's look at it from a network perspective. The pacing of this season has slowed down to an absolute crawl. They needed to drag out the Tom Sandoval viewership numbers because, love him or hate him, people tune in to watch him suffer for one more week. They know if they show him leaving, a certain demographic tunes out.
100%. It's all about the ratings. They want all the Tom viewers to stay one more week. But you know what? As much as I am raging, as much as I am throwing my metaphorical hands up in the air and threatening to boycott, I know what's going to happen next week.
We are totally seated on the couch for next week.
Oh, I'll be front row center, phone on Do Not Disturb with a fresh pitcher of margaritas. Yep. I cannot wait to see Kate look Tom in the eyes and send him packing.
Well, let's process this rage constructively before we completely spiral. It is time for our segments. We need to officially dissect the behavior we just witnessed. Let's start with segment 1. Ultimate villain of the episode. Who owned it? Who delivered the pure, unadulterated villain energy we crave?
I am going slightly outside the box for this one, and you might disagree with me. I am nominating Kandy Muse.
A guest star. You're giving the ultimate award to someone who wasn't even eligible to be voted out. That's a bold choice. Defend your thesis.
Hear me out. Kandy literally walked into that house party, grabbed a drink, looked around at these people who were just trying to have a nice, slightly tense time with their friends and family, and said, let's play a game. Who do you trust the least?
She did instigate, I'll give her that.
She dropped a literal tactical bomb in the middle of the dance floor, watched Tom and Kate explode, watched New York spiral into a screaming fit, and then she probably just got back on her air-conditioned tour bus and went back to her hotel. That is top-tier instigation. She did the producer's job better than the producers. Ultimate villain behavior, no attachment, just pure chaos.
It's a strong argument. She incited a riot and left absolutely no fingerprints on the crime scene. It's elegant. But I have to push back, and I have to give the ultimate villain title to Kate Chastain.
Really? Even over Kandy?
Yes. She is the reigning supervillain, and she acted exactly like a mafioso boss. She put a massive target on Tom, a guy who has a very loud, very aggressive real-world fan base. She sat there drinking cocktails with Chef Ben while New York screamed horrific obscenities at her from 10 feet away, and Kate didn't even blink.
True. She was unbothered.
Her pulse didn't raise a single beat. And now she holds the ultimate power to break a tie. She manipulated the entire house into a deadlock so that her hands get to pull the final lever. She owned the episode. Kandy lit the match, but Kate built the bomb.
Ugh, you're right. I hate when you're right. I'm sorry you had to see this line alone wins it for her. It was too iconic. Okay, moving on to segment 2. Messiest move. What had you absolutely gagged, babes? What was the worst gameplay?
I'll go first on this one because it ties directly into Kate's brilliance and the absolute lack of it in others. The messiest move of the episode, without a doubt, was Tom Sandoval confronting Kate at the party in front of everyone's guests.
It was so deeply embarrassing.
It is a masterclass in what not to do when your life is on the line in reality TV. Think about his position. You're on the hit list. Kate is the supervillain. She holds all the cards. And instead of pulling her aside the next morning, kissing her ring, eating some humble pie, and making a logical pitch about why Christine is worse for her game, you wait until she is drinking with her best friend, you get highly defensive, you turn bright red, you raise your voice, and you whine about a letter from a week ago.
So dumb.
You are trying to win her over to save your life, and instead, you just annoy her further and prove her exact point about why you need to go. I was astounded by the sheer stupidity of his social game.
Nobody ever accused Tom Sandoval of being too smart. It's so true. He just lacks basic self-awareness. But for me, the messiest move has to go to New York. Tiffany, my queen, my HBIC, the legend, what are you doing?
Completely losing her mind.
New York absolutely crashing out, screaming across a courtyard over a man, over Tom Sandoval. A white man who would absolutely never in a million years sacrifice his game for her.
Never. Tom Sandoval would throw New York under an actual moving city bus for a fresh bottle of white nail polish and a compliment.
Exactly. She is protecting these men for what? To what end? She has a perfectly good alliance with the women available to her. She could link up with Drita and Kate and run the house. And instead, she is burning bridges with the supervillain because she wants to be the third wheel to Tom and Tyson's little brofest. It is messy, it is delusional, and it had me screaming at the screen.
It's a fundamental misunderstanding of her own value in that house. She is degrading her own legacy, which transitions us perfectly into segment 3. Who would we trust? If we are magically dropped into that house right now with all this chaos, all these egos, who are you aligning with to survive?
Oh, this is easy. I don't even have to think about it. Drita.
Interesting. Why Drita? She's volatile.
Not this season. Drita is playing the best under-the-radar assassin game in that house. She isn't screaming, she isn't whining, she isn't making unnecessary enemies. She is just sitting back, observing the madness and plotting.
That's fair.
When Tom was on his knees begging her, she didn't give him anything he could use against her. She didn't make a promise she'd have to break publicly. She just smiled, nodded, while secretly planning to slit his throat in the vote. You do not cross Drita. I am attaching myself to her and writing quietly to the finale.
Drita is formidable, yes. She commands fear, which is a great tool. But if we are talking purely about survival mechanics, if we are talking about navigating a burning building where the floor is collapsing, I'm aligning with Paul.
Ugh, I hate it. Paul is so slimy. Tell me why.
As much as it pains me to say it because it feels dirty, the man is working every single room flawlessly. He is playing both sides perfectly. He has somehow managed to promise his vote to Christine, to Tom, to New York, and to Kate without immediately becoming the target of the entire house when the vote doesn't go their way.
The crumple zone strategy again.
Exactly. He takes the strategic advice from Josh, keeping the big targets in the game as meat shields, and he immediately implements it. We are aligning with the roach who survives the nuclear apocalypse, babes. Paul is the roach. He will scurry under the refrigerator while Tom and Kate blow each other up, and he will emerge on day 30 with the prize money.
The roach strategy.
Oh.
It's disgusting, but it's effective. He really is just scurrying around the edges. Okay, final segment before we log off and fully spiral into the weekend. Segment 4. Villain energy check.
Right.
We need to define the terms. Who is giving real villain energy, and who is just a tryhard?
We need to debate this heavily because there is a distinct line being drawn in reality TV right now between actual effective strategy and pure vacuous aesthetics. This goes back to our Kindle versus paper debate.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
For me, the real villain is Kate. We've said it all night. She is the icy, unbothered reality star who knows exactly what to say to activate people. Volunteer as tribute. It's effortless. It's psychological warfare. She doesn't need to scream to control the room.
She doesn't have to raise her voice. That's real villainy. The loudest person is usually the weakest.
Exactly. But the tryhard, Christine Quinn. I am arguing that Christine isn't even playing a villain on this show. She isn't playing a game at all. She's just a floater coasting on the fact that she has incredibly expensive outfits and a highly curated resting bitch face.
Literally just furniture.
Being aloof isn't being a villain. Being pretty and quiet isn't a strategy, it's just being boring. She is the paper book with a beautiful cover and blank pages inside.
Okay, I agree Christine is boring and she's basically a piece of structural furniture at this point. But I have to counter. I strongly disagree that she is the biggest tryhard. Sandoval is the ultimate tryhard.
Really? Worse than Christine.
Think about it. Christine is at least wearing fabulous clothes while doing nothing. She's owning her uselessness. Sandoval is actively trying to manipulate people and failing miserably at every turn, begging Drita on his knees, whining about a letter, pouting when Kandy asks a question. A real villain owns their treachery.
That's true. They don't play the victim.
Exactly. A real villain says, yes, I lied. Yes, I manipulated you. What are you going to do about it? Sandoval wants to do villainous things, but still be seen as the victim, the good guy who was just misunderstood. Have some dignity. It screams cry hard.
That is actually a very fair point. The whiny victim mentality villain is the absolute least respectable archetype in the reality TV pantheon. At least Christine owns that she's just there for screen time. Sandoval wants us to believe he's a mastermind when he's really just a toddler throwing toys out of the pram.
Yeah, truly. Babes, the long weekend chaos is so incredibly real right now. My margarita energy has officially peaked. The ice in my glass is completely melted. The tequila is absolutely winning the internal battle. And honestly, dissecting this villain behavior is sustaining us.
It's the protein in our reality TV diet. It fortifies us for the real world.
It is giving me the life force I need to survive the impending Easter dinner and the judgmental relatives.
But Snark Squad, we need to hear from you. We need you to sound off in the comments, in the reviews, wherever you can reach us. Who's your favorite villain right now? Who is actually playing the game?
We want to know.
And importantly, are you Team Kindle or are you Team Paper? This is a serious, deeply philosophical divide, and we need data to settle this argument. And seriously, what's your go-to wing flavor? Because if you say mild buffalo, we might have to permanently block you.
We will judge you harshly, but we will also love you. So please, if you enjoyed this chaotic spiral, remember to rate, review, subscribe, send in your shady, snarky, or stupid submissions for us to read on the show next week. Tell us about your terrible family dinners.
And do us a massive favor. Send this to one friend who loves chaotic reality TV just as much as you do. Grow the squad. Thank you for being part of the family. We literally couldn't do this without you validating our toxic late night opinions.
We love you guys so much.
But before we go, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over while you're eating those cheap hollow chocolate Easter eggs this weekend.
Ooh, leave him with a thought.
Think about this. Has reality TV changed so fundamentally that villains like Christine can just float by to the finale on expensive outfits and a curated Instagram vibe, while the old-school manipulators like New York and the survivor tacticians have to do all the actual exhausting heavy lifting to make a show watchable? Are aesthetics permanently replacing actual strategy in the modern era of reality TV?
Ooh, that is deep. Ponder that, Biggs. Chew on that with your jelly beans.
Stay villainous.
Stay messy. And we'll see you on the Snark side.